Everyone's here now, so we'll begin. So thank you very much for joining the live Q&A today. Maid is the UK's #1 franchise in home cleaning and has been operating in the UK for the last 40 years. We are the highest ranked domestic cleaning franchise in the prestigious Elite Franchise 100 with a top 15 ranking for the last 5 years. And this year we actually broke into the top 10 at number 9, which was a fantastic achievement for us. In 2023, we also received our 5th consecutive WorkBuzz Award. Now, this is a franchisee satisfaction award based on an anonymous survey by an independent company of our franchise owners to see how we perform as a franchise. And I'm delighted that we've received over 90% score in the last 5 years. So it really shows how much our franchise owners value the support we provide, and it's something that we're extremely proud of. Maid also operates in a massively growing industry. So in the last couple of years, it's gone from about 2.73 billion to over 8.5 billion industry. So that means there is huge demand for the service in the UK. And it's something that has seen us hit some fantastic results in the last few years with kind of nearly double-digit growth, both in 2022 and in 2023, and again on track to achieve that again in 2024. So the demand for the service is something that is really kind of continues to show strong. Now, our model is really based on a recurring revenue model, which means that over 95% of our sales come from people having cleans every week, every fortnight, and every month. So that's something that's a really good base for building a business, because you can really predict that revenue coming in on a regular basis. Also, it has a strong cash flow, which means that customers essentially pay for their cleaning service weekly or monthly, on the day of the clean. So it means that you've got your money in your account before you need to pay any of your costs. So again, that's a really nice position to be in as a business, where you're not waiting to have to collect money in. And as I say, demand really has increased over the last few years on the back of COVID and Brexit, and we're seeing kind of record number of inquiries coming in. But the other good thing is also we're seeing high demand for applicants looking to join us and work for us, which means that coupled with the high demand, we can actually fulfill that demand with a really strong base of staff that we've got on board. And I know that's something that my guest in a minute is going to talk to us a little bit about. But yeah, so I would like to introduce Eric Moss. Eric started his business back in January 2023 in Liverpool. And he's had an exceptional 18 months. Eric's really worked hard to nurture and invest in his team. And that's something that we kind of really recognise that he values that team and he's really enabled him to hit those sales levels. Eric will talk a little bit more about how he does that. But yeah, it's something that's enabled him to hit his £3,000 milestone just the other week. And I know he's got a big week coming up in a couple of weeks where he could do even up to £5,000 in net weekly sales. So yeah, he's had a really exceptional start. And thank you for joining us, Eric.
Thank you. We're actually at our 3,500 milestone.
Apologies, 3,500. Well done. And I know the big one hopefully is coming in a couple of weeks' time. So that's fantastic. So yeah, obviously, welcome, and obviously congratulations on such a fantastic start you've had. But I know it wasn't too long ago you were in a very similar position to some of the people that are joining us on the call today. So kind of what made you choose Maid, and what made you think it was the right business for you?
We were in a slightly different situation. We'd been working overseas for some time, Middle East and South Korea, and we came back wanting to do something different. So we actually took quite a while researching different business opportunities. We did a few franchises. We did another few things. My wife's in education. Oh, ice cream trucks outside. We, funny enough, wanted a cleaner and researched. We wanted a cleaner overseas. We'd always had one. We wanted another one, and you guys popped up, but you weren't in our area. And kind of by accident, we clicked on at the bottom of the page going franchise opportunities, and we were looking at franchise opportunities. And we sat down, we had a conversation, the same we did with other businesses. And to be honest, it was the way it was handled. It was that whole initial meet and greet, the follow-up. It was that really probably swayed us, to be honest. The business model looked sound. Everything seemed very honest. There was no promises of making millions, that was very honest in the beginning about how much you need to invest. Because it's going to be a while until you start reaping benefits. Everything seemed very, very family, very, very, yeah, transparent, I suppose.
Yeah.
And yeah, we dived in.
No, that's brilliant, Eric. And I think, I mean, that's something I would really say to anyone who is looking at starting their own business. It's something that's really important from our perspective, but it's also something, if you are speaking to other franchisors, that you should really feel that they're being honest and transparent with you. Because yeah, if someone's sitting you down and telling you that for this level of investment, you're going to be starting to make this kind of money in, you know, a very short space of time, then I would question that. So yeah, I think transparency is key. And also, you know, speaking to other franchise owners, and that's part of the reason that we're doing this today, is to kind of give people who are looking at a franchise a kind of insight from someone who's doing it day to day. So that's brilliant, Eric. Thank you. So what have you enjoyed most about the business, and what kind of you found that's been the kind of the biggest challenges?
It's a challenge. It's customer service orientated. So every stress, it's almost like working in a restaurant or behind a bar. You've got that stress, you've got that pressure, you've got that time crunch. It's rewarding. It is very rewarding, because anything that's stressful and you overcome it, it's hugely rewarding. I had some self-doubts early on, I got to be honest. I've run my own business before. A little bit of anxiety that I suppose is anxiety that we overcame. And we were lucky enough to go to the R&R weekend that you guys host very early on, basically the week before we started. And this, for people that don't know, the R&R weekend is a massive function, huge prizes. We stay for the weekend. There's a gala dinner, etc., etc. And everyone that we met came to us really friendly. Trust the process is what they told us. Trust the process. And we repeated. My wife started this with me. She's now gone off and working in a university, and it was trust the process. And every couple of months, we just did the mantra of trust the process. And it's amazing how things have literally gone exactly how we were told they were if we put the effort in. So that's good. I'm glad I trusted the process.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely self-doubt, as it would be in any business, in any
Of course. And I think that's probably one of the reasons that people look at, like yourself, obviously look at franchises, because you have that support. I mean, it's quite scary when you look in the numbers in the UK about how many people starting their own business don't succeed. And I think that's because they don't necessarily have the infrastructure, the support, and the brand that goes with the franchise model. So I guess that's been something that's been quite kind of reassuring from your perspective, Eric.
It's amazing. Best way to put it. I think Kanika might be on here. I can't see her name at the top. Is she on here? There she is.
Yeah.
Just from everything, from marketing, you've got your own personal business advisor, basically, who's on hand all the time to help you through it. Often we've got Claire, who owns Southport, pretty close by, and we've got Simon, who's close by, and Sarah Kershaw. And you don't hesitate to pick up the phone and just say, listen, this has come up. What do you suggest? Or what's the story with this? We've got this to do. And you will encounter a lot of situations that you're not used to. And yeah, I mean, Sarah's our business advisor and just phenomenal. I mean, it's comes very close to almost spoon feeding at times where they're that helpful. But it's great. You've obviously got your own decisions to make in your business, the way you want to do things, but the help is there. The help's always there. And it is, I mean, I know I've phoned you, Aaron, a couple of times, everything ranging from what color car should I get to basically, should I buy this guy's business next door? So, and it's always there. And it's proper. It's the support's huge.
That's great, Eric. I mean, I think, you know, one of the words you picked up on earlier is family. And I think that's definitely kind of how we like to view it. You know, it's very much a partnership, you know, for franchise owners and as us as a franchisor. You know, your success is our success. So, you know, we very much kind of want to do everything we can to support you. And I'm glad that, yeah, you feel that kind of, you see that coming across, which is great. Maybe just pick up a little bit on the brand. Obviously, you know, Maid being the UK's #1 home cleaning brand. Obviously, from our perspective, we see that in terms of the inquiry generation and all the benefits that brings. And is that something that you notice as well from your own, you know, from the business locally with yourself, Eric?
It's great riding on the wave of like national advertising. and national Facebook campaigns that we had going and paid search and that. We started in Liverpool with no neighbors, no real what we would call brand awareness, but we still go into customers' homes and they tell us, "Oh, my sister has Molly Maid down here. My daughter has it down here. I've been recommended by my cousin in Scotland to do this." So even in a place as remote as we were, there's still that brand awareness. And now, I mean, you guys know from our Kanika sends out all of the Facebook clicks and imprints and all of that, and yeah, it is great to ride that wave of a recognized brand.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. And I think, yeah, as I say, I mean, you're absolutely right. You know, you started in an area where we didn't have other businesses kind of neighboring that. So, you know, that always means that we've got to do an extra bit of work to really kind of get the educate people in terms of how Molly Maid works, because we do operate slightly differently to other Kia businesses. So, you know, just to kind of clarify that, I mean, we don't have a set hourly rate. We provide a bespoke quote, and that's part of the role that you fulfill, Eric, is going out and seeing those potential customers' homes and giving that quote. But what it does allow us to do is it does allow you to build that rapport with customers, and also allow you to see the property that you're going into, and then make sure that you're, you know, providing with them with a, you know, an accurate quote for the work that they want carried out in their home. So the type, you talked a little bit about the marketing activity. I mean, how easy or how difficult have you found the inquiry generation, and what activities have you been doing to help with that?
Kanika's been great. Kanika and Sam, head of office, giving us advice. Early on, we got frustrated, I would say, a little bit early on with not having millions of inquiries in one lump sum. But again, trust the process. We do advertising in local magazines. We do Facebook. Facebook is great for advertising on. You join your local groups. Don't spam them. Don't break their rules. Do what you need to do. Flyers are brilliant ways of doing it. We get an amazing rate as a bulk rate with Whistle. Cars have been great with your branding on. Inquiries now, it's sometimes you're looking at your phone going, please stop ringing, to be quite honest, because it's busy.
Yeah.
Marketing, again, Kanika, thank you. Sometimes I doubt her knowledge, but she's right. And we're very happy with the investments we made in terms of advertising and marketing. We've decided to concentrate on growth early on.
Yep.
And we've been able to invest quite a bit more in concentrating in growth. And yeah, I mean, we have a calendar on the wall, which we laugh at because a year ago it was empty.
Yeah. I'm having that conversation with you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I think you're up here.
Yeah.
It was empty. And yeah, it's phenomenal. It's mad.
No, well, look, I mean, I think, you know, it's great that pays off. I mean, part of how Molly Maid works is that when you initially, you know, join and pay the franchise fee, what we do is we allocate an amount of money from that proportion. I think when you started, Eric, it was 10. I think with the new franchise fee now in place, it's 12,000. But that £12,000 is essentially ring fenced and will help fund all of that activity that you talked about from the online advertising to the Facebook to the flyers to the local magazines for the first kind of, you know, 9 to 12 months. And we also have a couple of incentives that are designed to help give more money back into that pot for those kind of sales milestones you hit along the way. And I know, you know, you reap the benefit of those, and hopefully you've got a few more coming up from that as well. So, well, I think that's really good to hear that you've still got good levels of inquiries coming through, and that the marketing activities that, you know, the marketing team, Kanika and Sam, have both advised you on are working well.
Yeah, we also actually get the rebate from head office as well. So we've managed to sponsor a couple of rugby teams with the rebate that you guys offer, which has been great for us. We've got their kits. We're going on a Wales tour soon with the team. So we've got the coaches all shirts with Molly Maid on. So that's fun as well. And it just makes us have a bit of a pillar in the community, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
So those are
giving something back to the community as well.
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant, Eric. So I guess, I mean, one of the things that I think you've been particularly good at is kind of, you know, motivating staff. And I guess one of the things when you're going into a service-based kind of role or business, it's managing staff. And I know, you know, sometimes that can be challenging, but I think, some of the little touches that you do for your staff when they come in each week and the way you look after them, I think that's helped you to cultivate a really strong team. Is that something you would agree with?
I would say it's number one, the team. I know everything's important, and we had a really good diagram shared at one of the meetings where it's happy customers means happy staff means returning and all of this. I do have to say the staff are number one. The people are going to have dirty houses. They're going to call you. You're going to get cleans. If you've got happy staff that come in, it just creates a mood. People want to be here, and it took us a while. It took us. We had teething problems in the beginning. We slowly got a core of people that have been positive, and it's going from strength. We have 9 people at the moment, part-time, a couple full-time, and it's fun. Like we organize, we do bongos bingo nights, we go out to the Liverpool ladies football games and all get together with the families and things like that. So it is vital, and if you've got some really good staff early on, do everything you can to keep them.
No, absolutely. Next kind of question is, what's been the, kind of the foundations of your success, or the one thing you would say has been, part of that success, but I guess really would be is that team and the way that you've worked to, say, nurture and cultivate that strong team that you've got now in place.
And my Molly Maid socks.
Maid socks, absolutely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the peace of mind you have sending out a team to a clean, especially a new clean, and they know the drill and they're aware and they're alert and they want to be here and they want that customer to stay and they take pride in it. And you can set up reward charts. We've got like a spinning wheel thing. You get 5-star reviews. They get a certain spin of the wheel and win a bottle of wine, or it creates a bit of like fun competition. You just have to be creative. What you do at the end of the day, someone's got their hand down someone else's toilet. So have as much fun as you can doing that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're right. And I think, that is one of the things, we see our most successful franchise. Obviously, Eric's still kind of only 18 months in, and we've got franchise owners that, have been with the business for 20 plus years. And I think they would echo the same message, that it really is about investing in a strong team, and you don't necessarily get that team right straight away, and you maybe have to make some changes along the way. But yeah, we don't sell a product. The product is the service, and the service is from the staff. So, getting that right is critical. And, once you do, then you really can start to flourish and achieve the sales that are achievable. And say, to give you an idea in scale, Eric talked about kind of achieving net weekly sales of 3,500. An average Molly Maid business is probably doing net sales of about 6,000. And we've got some at the top end, which I know Eric's aspirations to be up there, but 15 to 18,000 pound a week and still growing. So the opportunity is huge. And as I say, it's our role to help support get franchise owners to that. So Eric, I guess kind of finishing up on kind of my questions, and just you've obviously only been going 18 months, but if you were kind of thinking back to starting all over again, what would kind of be the bit of advice that you would give to yourself if you were restarting now?
Some of the doubts we had in the beginning were, should we get an office? Should we get accountants, things like that? We decided it wasn't conducive for us to be at home. So we did go for that, which isn't something I do over. It's something good. So I'm trying to think of things.
Yeah.
We're glad we did that. Obviously, it's an added expense, but the separation from home to work really makes sense to us. We trying to think what else. Probably nothing. We kind of trusted the process, to be fair.
I think that's what I was going to say. I think, that's something that you've kind of said, a couple of times now, is that, I think certainly when you make that decision, there's an element of risk that's attached to it. I think going with a franchise and established brand helps reduce that risk, but that risk is still there. And I think, you talked about that kind of self-doubt, but, you trust the process and it works.
Yeah. I've said it again. We ride the Molly Maid wave in a way, I suppose. You've got that security. You've got that. We see in Liverpool up here, there's companies spring up all the time, and they've got a lovely little Facebook page. And I know the people. I know in 8 months' time they've sprung up again, but it's a different name. I would say 9 out of 10 customers that call us are customers that have had a cleaner in the past. There are customers that currently have a cleaner, but they're looking for something different. They're looking for something that doesn't give them the problems, that doesn't not arrive because they missed the bus, that doesn't break things. I mean, they fly by night. There's a couple that have been going, but they 2 or 3 people, and they just do their little thing, and they're not really what we would call competitors. There aren't really any competitors, I don't think, for us in Liverpool and what we offer.
No, that's brilliant. I mean, I think, one of the things that we often see is, sometimes customers will go, oh, I've got a cheaper option, and they go for that cheaper option, and then find out actually it may be cheaper, but it's certainly not a better option. And then they come, back on the phone and say, look, I know we left to go somewhere else, but we realised that actually, paying that kind of paying for the premium service was worth it, and we'd like to restart the service. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Some of those kind of cheaper options, they may work for some, but yeah, for a lot of people, they actually much prefer the more comprehensive professional service that Maid offer.
And that's where your customer service will come in. I mean, it's what's the horrible analogy? If you want Ryanair or you want Emirates business class, and it is a terrible analogy to have, but it is what we offer. If you've got a beautiful car, you're not going to get the guy down the street to come and clean it and borrow your tools and fix it for you with no guarantees or warranties. You're probably going to take it to the people who give you warranties and guarantees and use the correct products and use the correct parts. And so, yeah, they'll always be cheaper than us, I can guarantee you. But if you want cheap, then go with it.
Absolutely, I think that's good advice, Eric. So thank you very much for that. I think that's given us a really good insight. I just wondered if there was any questions from anyone who's joined us to ask Eric or myself. So I know one's come through here, and it's just about kind of, you touched upon the support and the support that's provided, but does that cover like all aspects of the business? I know you mentioned marketing a bit, operation side of it. Is that something that you also benefit from support
on? I think apart from actually anything to do with the business, I think it might just be like the family side of it. I think I know you've come up, Sarah's come up, you've taken us and our family out. We go out for dinner and have a drink and talk about stuff, and it's not just work. So I would say it's maybe how corny, the emotional support, maybe.
Yeah.
It might just be I know if I'm down to meet you guys for our 6-monthly meeting or 12-monthly meeting, I know we're going to pop up the street and watch the football. And so I would say it is probably business aside. I mean, we are genuinely happy to see each other when we get to the R&R weekend. Like everyone is happy to see each other. So yeah, it is, without wanting to sound corny, I suppose it is the emotional support as well.
Yeah, nice. And I think, you touched upon it, but I think that also comes not just from us, but from other franchise owners. And I think that's something that we really kind of encourage because, yeah, it's to say some of the best ideas just come from sitting around having a chat with other franchise owners. And I think, we have like an internal intranet system that allows you to have those conversations and chats kind of either, remotely over message, but also kind of over the phone as well. So I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, exactly. And we actually that's been a big focus for us with our teams. We've just tried to carry that through. So our number one employer type of logo, we try to use that mantra and follow that through with our teams, which is they're not just maids. I mean, we insure them, sponsor them, train them, we invest in them. So you want your investments to work, I suppose.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's one that's coming in, maybe I can just pick up on this one. It kind of, someone's mentioned about some of the, obviously the economic challenges that the country's seen over the last kind of 12 to 18 months. How's that impacted demand? And I think, as I touched upon right at the beginning, we've seen kind of between 8 and 10% growth in sales across the country in the last couple of years. Demand levels, we track, we are kind of fastidious in tracking numbers. We're tracking inquiries on a daily basis to compare to the previous, that week, the same, the previous year. We track kind of sales daily, weekly. So, I think that is something that we are very focused on. And it hasn't, despite kind of the doom and gloom that you might hear in the media and the news, we haven't seen that impact in us, in our business. As I say, we've seen, franchise owners like Eric start up in a brand new area with very little brand awareness, and in 18 months' time, they're averaging, £3,500 a week in sales. We've had others that have tripled, doubled, quadrupled their business, from, 4 to 8 to £12,000 weekly sales, in the last couple of years. So despite some of the challenges that some businesses are having out there, we're very fortunate that it hasn't affected us, and we're kind of going from strength to strength, which is great. Eric, I guess you'd probably echo
I was going to say, it's
thing.
almost moving. It's moving away from a luxury item now, having your house cleaned. I think people that are going out to work or working from home or working harder, it's not really a luxury item. It's kind of a necessity. So I don't know if it's ever really going to be affected.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And as I say, I think that's something that we talk about, is that it's not really a luxury service. It is a necessity, and more people are taking advantage of that. So, we don't see that changing, as you say, Eric. We don't see that changing in the next 5-10 years. So, and more people are using it, from young professionals all the way through to elderly people who physically can't do the cleaning themselves. So I think that's something that's really important to remember, is that there is a big market out there. And you say, sometimes people's question to me is, well, I'm sure the areas that must be doing really well down south, you must have some great areas around London that are doing really well. And actually, we see in places like Liverpool, we've got another great franchise in Doncaster. Teesside, again, we've got one of our fastest growing businesses with our highest hourly, highest clean prices. So there are, it's not just pockets of the country that this business works in. It does work, really all over.
It's the worst call I can get. As soon as you get an inquiry in and you look at the address and you just have a quick search on your phone, is a huge 5-6 bedroom house, massive place, because funny enough, they're not a money-made customer. It's strange. My ones are the 3-4 bedroom young family or elderly person, and it's middle income. It's not that much of a luxury product. That's the majority. Or it's elderly people who just can't do it themselves, who want the security and the safety. It's not. I had that thought when I first joined. I thought, wow, how many huge mansions are there for us to clean? They're not that many. But that's not our customers. We have one house, one person, and the rest are very average houses. So
no, again, you're right, and that is often the perception, that it is going to be, the footballer's house, or someone like that, and that's not the reality. It is, it's a family, two people, husband and wife, partners, two kids. It really is, those are the people that have less time, and I think that's what we always talk about. Is it's about people that are time poor, but kind of, they have a disposable income, and they're prepared to invest that in the cleaning service, as opposed to ones or doing it themselves. So, it's a really good point, Eric. Thank you.
No worries.
Well, I don't think we've had any other questions. So I will thank you very much for your time, Eric. Obviously, if anyone does have any questions that they want to ask myself or Eric, they can get in contact. I'll put my information up here on the screen, and we'd welcome the chance to speak with you. So thank you very much for your time, Eric. Thank you once again for giving up your time. I hope everyone's found it useful, and we hope to speak to you soon.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot, Aaron. Cheers, everyone. Bye.